So I'm just a stupid dog, and this was the fifth chapter. And in this fifth chapter, we pick it up at the end of the fourth chapter where Dr. Lobotomy was telling everybody the best thing that could ever happen to them is that they got a lobotomy. Maybe they got an ankle sprain. He'd say lobotomy. Maybe they got some kind of a vicious, horrible problem. And maybe it's Parkinson's. He's like, lobotomy. Maybe it's a deep sea depression. He's like, lobotomy. Lobotomy. Could be something more, a lot less tenuous, a lot less, intriguing, a lot less, whatever you say, when something really means a lot, when something's really important, when something is life or death. Maybe Dr. Lobotomy's diagnosis and his recommendation for treatment would even continuously go with lobotomy, even if it wasn't that big of a thing, even if it wasn't life or death. You're like, I don't like celebrating my birthdays. Every time the balloons fall down, if you get a helium balloon, it floats up to the top of the ceiling. Sooner or later, it comes down like 3 or 4 days after my birthday. I get depressed. I feel blue. I don't even get depressed. I think I feel blue. Dr. Lobotomy is like, you need a lobotomy. Lobotomy will straighten you out. I mean, somebody says, I got an ingrown toenail. My doctor said I got to take more vitamin D. I was like, I stand out in the sun. I eat a lot of cheese. Why do you say I got to have more vitamin D? His original doctor, his primary care physician, might say, we got to put you on a pill to give you some more vitamin D. Dr. Lobotomy is like, you don't need that pill. Standing out in the sun, eating a lot of cheese is fine. You need a lobotomy. The other guy was like, I walk down to my cellar, I see a bunch of spiders, I get scared. Dr. Lobotomy says, you need a lobotomy. The other guy's like, I go down the ocean, I got to swim. I want to swim, but I got to drink 2 or 3 beers before I have enough gumption to get in the ocean because I'm afraid some stingray is going to bite me in my pecker, or maybe some sand shark's going to try to bugger me from behind, or maybe a great white's going to tear my guts out and swim them off to their kits, their kit and caboodle, their little tiny sharks. Their brood they're going to feed. Dr. Lobotomy says, son, you need a lobotomy first and foremost because that's deranged. You need a lobotomy. I think you might have bipolar, so you need a lobotomy. You have a lot of anxiety, so I think you need a lobotomy. You have an unrealistic fear. I don't know what that's the fear of. I mean, the fear of agoraphobia, the fear of Kanskanuskenorst. I'm not sure, but the other thing was they just need a lobotomy for that fear of, that phobia. And the other thing is, if you are particularly scared about swimming in the ocean and you got to drink beers, maybe you're an alcoholic. Lobotomy. Maybe you're just a guy who's just really a dipshit and he has a thing where once you walk across the beautiful white sands and you see the rolling waves and you hear the surf, you can't get in with that jive. You can't get in the groove. You need a lobotomy. Lobotomy, lobotomy, lobotomy. Lobotomy is going to fix it all. And I'm Dr. Lobotomy, so let me explain it to you. A lobotomy is going to fix it all because you're scrambling your brains a little bit like scrambled eggs, but they're still eggs. See what I'm saying? You still got brains. You can still go on. We're not going to scramble them too hard. You scramble them too hard, okay, they get overdone. You can't peel. You can't have a poached egg if it's cooked, rolling boil for like 25 minutes. No, it's just a block. It's a hard thing. You can't make a hard-boiled egg and peel the egg off it if you cook it for too long. It just adheres to the skin of the egg. You can't peel it off without peeling off the entire egg except for the gonad, whatever you call it, the yolk. So in both those cases, if that's your problem and that's your screw-up, I'm going to say lobotomy. But lobotomy is only going to fix the one part. Get a lobotomy, you get a little bit scrambled, and then you say, oh my God, I didn't want to cook my egg that long. I didn't try to cook it so long, and it came out better. Then I killed it in the cold water, and I could peel it. And Dr. Lobotomy would be like saying, yeah, that's what you got now, lobotomy. a little mild lobotomy, now you can cook your hard-boiled eggs a little bit better. Poached eggs. You're like, oh my God, I fucked it up. I made my poached egg as hard as a hockey puck. Dr. Lobotomy, he steps in, he goes, lobotomy. He gives you a mild lobotomy. Then you're like, oh my God, I cooked it so soft. It was so beautiful. I didn't have as much anxiety. I didn't care. And that's what Dr. Lobotomy's whole thing was like, you won't care. Dr. Lobotomy was a big, lean, tall guy. Looks like he should have gone into basketball. He looks like he was Lurch's troglodytic cousin. Lurch's cousin that doesn't have a lot of wherewithal, or maybe he's a little bit screwed up, but he's not as big and robust as Lurch from the Addams Family. But Dr. Lobotomy looks like Lurch's thinner, more grody, maybe a little more sleazy cousin. But he's still like a big, tall, lanky, handsome guy. He's an imposing figure. He comes off after you talk to him a little while. You're like, oh my God, Dr. Lobotomy, where'd you get that liverwurst and spicy mustard and hot onion sandwich? Dr. Lobotomy says, I eat them every day, son. Liverwurst, a smear. It's a sconce of liverwurst, spicy mustard, a hot onion, not a mild onion, not a sweet onion, a spicy hot onion, and you got a great sandwich. You put it on rye bread. You put it on pumpernickel, forget about it. Forget about it. You see what I'm saying over here? Don't worry about it. It's okay. The pumpernickel, you're like, oh my God, it's so savory, it's so delicious, it's so hearty. I feel like I've been sated. I don't have to eat anything more. I'm losing weight, even though the pumpernickel is like 300 calories. 300, I don't know how many grams of fat, how many grams of this, that, the other. 360 calories for 2 slices of pumpernickel, but you don't got to eat nothing anymore. You get you a cutlet of anything, you put on pumpernickels, believe me, you will not want to eat again. A little bit of egg salad sandwich, a smear of liverwurst, spicy onions, and spicy mustard. You will not want to eat again till tomorrow, so don't worry about it. It's a beautiful thing. It's a wonderful thing. Anyways, this take, and I cannot remember now, I'm pretty sure it was the 4th take. I'm pretty sure it was the 4th. It could have been the 5th. I'm almost 1,000% sure it was the 4th take. It was supposed to be about how the squirrel, was this a Thundertop, had reared his head, almost got out his torso. He looked around. He started to give the evil eye. He started to look around like, hey, I've been sitting in this pocket so long, this musty pocket of this stupid-ass Polak. I'm like, hey, the man don't have no Polish blood anywhere. He's not a Polak. If you're thinking he's a Polak, and the squirrel, later, once the squirrel learned to talk, the squirrel did not learn to talk in the 4th chapter, but once the squirrel learned to talk, I think it was the 7th or 8th, because we found out, Uncle Dinner was a prick. He was a mean, nasty bastard. He was all about for himself. But until that point, we didn't know the squirrel could talk. But once the squirrel talked, the squirrel's like, gosh, guys, believe me, this guy, you think he's one thing, but he's another thing. I don't even know if you're related to him. I think that your man was buffaloed by this guy. I don't think he was any part of your man's family. The man's dad, it's not his uncle. I don't think it's his dad's brother. I think he's an imposter. I think he's just from Pennsylvania. Listen to him talk. He says, hey, big guy, what's going on over here? Ha, what are you going? Give me another, Jay, you going? You going to the cooler? Hey, give me another cooler? You going to the cooler? Give me another Genesee cream ale, my friend. You know what I'm saying? I'll do it. Give me another Jenny on it. Jenny on it. Jenny on it. Jenny on it. I'm a yak stupid dog. It's like Jenny on it. You don't add on it. It's not on it. It's a superimposed situation. It's not a prefix. It's not a suffix. It's not whatever you say, an adjunctive. It's not something that enhances it or personifies or clarifies the theory or the thought that you're trying to convey. Give me another Jenny over here. Give me a cold, dig down the bottom of the cooler. My nephew, the man, dig down. Oh, it's beautiful on it. Give me that Jenny on it. Hey, what? Hey, these are the old school Jennies. You can't twist it off. You have to have a bottle cap opener, onto the thing. Yeah, give me a bottle cap opener on it. I want to drink my Jenny on it. Your Jenny on it. You want to drink your Jenny on it? He's like, yeah, I want to drink my Jenny on to the primary course of naturalistic events. I want to drink my Jenny on it. Okay? I want to drink my Jenny onto it. I want to have my Jenny on it. I want to drink my Jenny onto it. And we're all like, the Jenny onto it, the Jenny on it. Where the F did you come from? What rock did you crawl out from, Uncle Denner? Because we don't say, give me this, that, the other thing. We don't finish our sentences. Just like an Italian guy's like, bravissimo. It's like, an Italian guy's like, I wanted a pizza with the Parmesan. The Parmesan. Parmigiana? No, it's Parmesan. Parmigiana, you've added the Anna. It's like the little spray tan girl. If you ever listen to spray tan girl, when she gets mad, she's like, I told you. I said I wanted you to do exactly what I want you to do. You finish with the yeah. And I don't even know if that's the way the spray tan girl talks. She might have another vowel sound she finishes off with. I'm just saying, some of these people, they finish with something you don't need to finish with. It clouds it. It's making it more complicated than it is to be. But in the case of Uncle Dinner, the way Uncle Dinner finishes his sentences or his phrases or his his clauses is on it. Hey, my belly hurts on it. Give me, I need to straighten me out onto it. I need a Jenny cream ale on it. Give me one of them cold ones from the bottom of the cooler onto it. Give me one of them cold ones on the bottom of the thing, you know what I'm saying, over here onto the primary course of naturalistic events. I want a Jenny cream ale on it. I want a Jenny cream ale onto it. Give me a Jenny cream ale on it. Give me a Jenny cream ale onto it. Give me a Jenny cream ale onto the naturalistic course of naturalistic events over here. See what I'm saying on it? Onto it? Give me that. And you're like, oh my God. But then he would say, mixing in the on it's with the onto it's, he would say, Mayan. The drink I prefer, Mayan beverage of choice is Jenny cream ale. I got to have, Mayan Jennies, they got to be chilled, cold, very cold. So if you put them out in the sun, they drip. See what I'm saying? They condense moisture and they drip by themselves on it, onto the thing. That's what I want when I get, when I drink Mayan favorite beer, that's Mayan. That's Mayan brand. That brand is Mayan. So he's saying Mayan and onto it. The squirrel came all the way out up to his chest. He started looking around. He heard the Uncle Dinner talking a bunch of shit, mixing in a lot of onnits, onto it's, Mayans. And so he ducked back down. He's like, I can't even come out right now. We were like the squirrel. That squirrel's a big, robust, ruddy squirrel. He's almost like King David from the Bible. He's a big, ruddy squirrel. Ruddy. You know what I'm saying? Ruddy. That's a ruddy squirrel. He's the one that's got wearing rouge. This squirrel's a ruddy squirrel. But anyways, he can't overcompensate for the Uncle Dinner's, But anyways, I think this was chapter 4. I think the whole point of chapter 4 is that we're really trying to demonstrate that it won't be long and Thundertop is going to take a prominent role. We try to establish the fact that Uncle Dinner's a little sketchy. You don't know what he's going to do. We try to establish the fact or put it out there that he might not even really be a true relative of the man. But the most important thing we tried to encapsulate was Uncle Dinner uses the terms on it and onto it at the end of almost all of his sentences. And he also says, anytime he says that's mine or that's mine, he substitutes for those two words, mine and mine, he says mine. Mayan. That's Mayan. You don't think, hey, that's Mayan. That was Mayan favorite alcohol. That was Mayan favorite drink. That's Mayan brand. That's Mayan favorite beer. So whether it's my or Mayan, he's going to substitute the word Mayan. You figure it out. The man, he thinks it's a Pennsylvania thing. The dog is beginning to wonder. And I just wonder what's going to happen once Thundertop really comes out and really makes his presence felt in this story. this whole narrative might change once Thundertop comes out. Listen, you want to be there. If you're one of our adherents, you want to be there when we kind of develop the whole thing, the whole presence, the whole persona, the whole meaning of Thundertop.